Okay, and just like we've done with everything else we've ever met, we want to be able to solve equations. So here we have a hyperbolic equation with a sin h component and a cos component, and we're trying to solve this thing. And wherever you see one of these is a fairly standard process to go through, which I've written out here for you. And the fun one is step 3, which has got a nice little track in the middle, so we'll point that out when we come to it. So step 1 is to pop it into exponential form. So if we just write this equation in exponential form, so we end up with 5 lots of sine is e to the x plus e to the minus x over 2. E tells line, it's minus, it's cosh that's plus. Got to remember which is which. Cosh is e to the x plus e to the minus x over 2 equals 6. Okay, so that's the first expression. Okay, what you want to do now is basically multiply the whole thing through by 2 is the simplest way to do it, and collect terms. So on this side I'm going to have 12, so here I'd have 5e to the x plus another 3e to the x is 8e to the x, and I have minus 5 plus 3 is minus 2e to the minus x. If I brought that 2 up, that equals 12, so I'll bring that back, minus 12 equals 0. Okay, so I've now simplified it, just multiplied the 2 up and expanded the brackets. So I've now got an e to the x term, an e to the minus x term, and a constant term. Okay, now here's the nasty trick, which is we multiply everything by e to the power of x. So we end up with 8e to the power of x squared. And I'll do this one next, minus 12e to the x. And then this one is the same as I did in the previous example. We're going to multiply e to the minus x by e to the x, which gives us 1. So 1 times negative 2 is just take away 2 equals 0. Okay, so I now have a quadratic in e to the x. So if I, something e to the x squared minus something e to the x minus a constant equals 0. So this is just a quadratic. And I can solve that any way I'd normally solve a quadratic. So let's just start off by dividing the thing through by 2, because they've all got 2 in them. So 4e to the x squared minus 6e to the x minus 1 equals 0. I can have a go at factorising that, but it's not going to factorise easily. So I'm going to go, who knows, let's use the quadratic formula. So e to the x is going to equal negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 lots of a times c, all divided by 2 lots of a, which is 6 plus or minus what I've got. 36 plus 16 is 52 over 8. So there's my two answers for e to the x, once for plus and once for minus. So e to the x equals, if I do the plus 1, hit the buttons on the calculator, it comes out to 1.6514. Or if I do it with the minus in there, it comes out to be negative 0.1514. And those are e to the x's. So to get x by itself, I have to un-e them or log them. So x equals the natural log of 1.6514, which equals, according to my calculator, 0.502. Or, okay, this is the log of a negative number, so it has no solution. So this one has no solution. Okay, so the answer to this question is 0.502, is the value of x, which solves this equation. Okay, and that's a really standard approach to dealing with a question like that. So there's a couple of those on the learning experience sheet at the end, so make sure you do those. Definitely something you need to be able to do.